Welcome back to Hardware Unboxed. Today I have yet another CPU comparison for you, this time comparing the Ryzen 7 5700X with the Core i7 12700F. Now I know the Intel processor does cost a little bit more, and I'm sure some will argue that the Core i5 12600KF is a fairer matchup, but a lot of viewers have requested this comparison. It's also a valid matchup in my opinion, and we could always compare the 5700X and 12600KF in a future video. For this one, we've got 23 games covering the 1080p and 1440p resolutions using both the Radeon RX 6950 XT and 6600 XT with SAM enabled. Now, across the 23 games tested, the average frame rate of the 12700F was on average 7% greater than that of the 5700X, while the 1% lows are improved by 10% when using the 6950 XT at 1080p. So not a massive uplift, but still a favourable matchup for Intel. Then at 1440p, those figures close up to 9% for the 1% lows and just 4% for the average frame rate. Meanwhile, for those of you using more mid-range GPUs, you'll see even less of a difference. For example, with the 6600 XT, the 12700F was on average just 5% faster for the 1% lows and 2% for the average frame rate at 1080p. And then we see no real performance difference at 1440p, despite average frame rates of just over 100 FPS. So, which CPU is better? Well, you know what? It really depends. And it depends on quite a few things. Now, I'm sure fans of either brand, which is such a strange thing to say out loud, how is that even a thing? But anyway, sadly it is, and fans of either side will tell you that the brand that they're most loyal to is the best for reasons that they'll then apply to every last person on the planet. Of course, the truth will be much more complex than any of those reasons, so let's work through it. The obvious scenario to get out of the way is the upgrade path for those of you who already own a perfectly good AM4 motherboard. And this one is obvious. So obvious, in fact, that it's really not worth discussing. It's a given, really, but I'll mention it anyway. So while Intel is more expensive overall, when spending $1,000 or more on the total system, it's less than a 10% price discrepancy. Therefore, if we put the price difference aside, what else is there to compare? Obviously, we have gaming performance, which we just looked at, and overall the 12700F is faster, which does justify the price increase in my opinion. And it's worth noting that outside of gaming, the 12700F is a much more powerful CPU, as those 4 E-cores work wonders for core-heavy productivity workloads. I anticipate that some AMD fans might point to power consumption and operating temperatures, but the truth is the 12700F is every bit as easy to cool as the 5700X, and power consumption when gaming is virtually identical. Then when running core-heavy workloads, the 12700F and 5700X power usage is really not that different, and performance per watt ends up in favour of the Core i7 processor. Truth is, you'd be thoroughly pleased with either one of these options. They're both great gaming CPUs that tackle the latest and greatest games with ease, and they'll continue to deliver high-end performance for many years to come. And with that, I'm going to end this one here. Please do give the video a like if you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you'd like more Hardware Unboxed goodness, then do check us out over at Patreon or Floatplane. You get access to our monthly live streams. We have one of those coming up later this week. Tim and myself will get together and do that, answer questions live, talk about whatever else has happened throughout the month. We're going to get our video editor Balin involved in that one, so it should be a lot of fun. We also have an exclusive Discord server for Hardware Unboxed community members, behind the scenes content, Q&As, a lot of cool stuff there. So if you're interested, check it out. But if not, that is perfectly fine. And I would like to thank you for watching the video. I'm your host, Steve, and I'll see you again next time.